Hello, and welcome to this session entitled College Transitions. My name is Jennifer Hansen, 4-H and Youth Development Extension Educator serving Thurston and Burke counties. Today, we're going to cover three main topics. Those topics are: how are high school and college different? How can you prepare now for a life after high school? And what do current college freshmen have as advice for you? Normally at this point during the session, I would ask each of you to share your name, what high school you attend, and what your college plans might include, and what career path you are considering. So, since we can't do that together today, I will share a little bit about myself. As I've said, I'm Jennifer Hansen. I was a graduate from Logan View High School. I received my Bachelor's of Science degree from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in Agricultural Business and Agricultural Economics. I also obtained my Master's of Science degree in Agricultural Leadership, Education, and Communications from UNL. If you had asked me when I was your age what I wanted to do after high school, I would have told you I had no clue. And that is perfectly acceptable. If you don't know what you want to do, don't feel bad. You still have time to figure it out, but it is important to begin exploring your college options or career options at this point in your high school career. So, what does college mean to you? College is an educational institution or establishment, in particular one that provides higher education or a specialized professional or vocational training. The next thing we want to talk about is the admission standards. Each college and/or university has its own set of admission standards. Now, in order to figure out what those admission standards are, you'll need to explore your college or university's website. So for today, we're going to go to the UNL Admission Standards website. Okay, as you can see, I've already selected for a first-year college student. And we're going to scroll over here, or down here, to the performance requirements. A first-year applicant should have a 3.0 cumulative high school grade point average or score a 20 on the ACT, writing portion is not required, or score a total of a 1040 or higher on the SAT, critical reading, and math sections, or rank in the top half of their high school graduating class. All first-year applicants under the age of 23 are encouraged to submit their official ACT or SAT score. There's also some core course requirements. There are 16 units of academic courses required for admission, and a unit for the purposes of admissions is considered 1 year, or a unit is 1 year of high school study or a set semester or quarter of college coursework. So let's look at specific what are the admission standards for the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. In general, you must have 4 units of English. Units must include intensive reading and writing experiences. Basically, that means you must have at least 1 year of English each of your high school years. Mathematics, again, 4 units, including Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, and 1 additional unit that builds on the knowledge that you learned in Algebra 2. In the area of social sciences, you only need 3 credits. And those units can be drawn from American and/or world history. An additional unit should be drawn from history, and another one from American government or geography. And the third unit could be from any social science discipline. So any social science class that your high school offers could fit in for that third unit of social sciences. When it comes to natural sciences, you need to select at least 2 from the following list: biology, chemistry, physics, and earth sciences. 1 unit must include laboratory instruction, meaning you have to have had some lab experience. World language. Now, this is the one that sometimes causes us a bit of a hiccup because you need 2 units of a world language, but they must be in the same language. So that means I can't take French 1 year and Spanish the next year and call that 2 units. I need to take 2 consecutive units of a world language. So Spanish 1 and 2, French 1 and 2, Latin, whatever language that your school offers. Some students, if you're unable to take 2 years of world language in high school, may still qualify for admission. Please note Some University of Nebraska-Lincoln degree programs require the equivalent of 4 years of high school world language in the same language in order to graduate. And you can review those world language requirements by degree. Those are the 16 main units of study you must have in order to be considered for admission to the University of Nebraska. Now, certain colleges may require certain specific requirements. And as we scroll down, we'll see there are colleges that don't require any additional requirements at UNL. And then there are several that will require a little extra. What I mean by that is, let's pretend for a minute I wanted to be an architect. I would need those 16 basic units of study that we've already talked about. Plus, I'm going to need 1 full unit of pre-calc or trig, or half a unit of pre-calc or trig and half a unit of math calc. I also have to have an ACT or SAT score. For ACT, a composite score higher than the 22, or an SAT combined score of 1,110 or higher. Transfer and remit students have to have the above requirements and must have a cumulative GPA of 3.0. You can scroll through this and figure out what your requirements would be for you. So the big thing to remember is that you need to take those 16 core classes. In your senior year, you really only have to have English and math in order to be admitted to the university. Your high school might have additional requirements, but sometimes this is the year where high school seniors decide, I'm going to coast. I'm not going to challenge myself. I'm just going to take what I have to graduate and enjoy my senior year of high school. Does that sound familiar? But here's the thing. If it doesn't challenge you, it won't change you. So it's important to consider challenging yourself even your senior year. Because here's the thing. I know way too many high school seniors that took it easy on themselves and then get to college their freshman year and go, oh my gosh, I forgot how to study. This is so hard, because they took that senior year and just decided, I'm going to sit back and enjoy the ride. Is college credit in high school a good idea? What do you think? The answer is there's not a one-size-fits-all answer. It really will depend. For example, when I was in high school, I took a college credit chemistry course. That worked great for me. I was able to take it at my local high school with my local teacher and receive college credit for it. Now, here's the thing. I had done some research ahead of time and made sure that my college degree program, which at that point I was pretty sure I was going to be ag business, wasn't going to require additional chemistry classes when I got to the university. What I mean by that is, sometimes if you take chemistry 1 in high school and then take chemistry 2 when you get to your institution of higher learning, they may not match up 100%. Because in any college or university system, if they tell you to take Chem 109 and then Chem 110, they're going to build off of one another. Just like in high school, your Algebra 1 class probably built off your Algebra 2 class. So that's something to think about. But because I didn't need more than 1 chemistry credit in college, I took it in high school, and then my freshman year of college, while all my friends were stressed out about taking their Chem 109 class, I was like, I already did that. So for me, that was a good choice. For others, maybe it's not such a great choice. You really have to think about it from your own perspective and do a little bit of research. Okay, now let's get some advice from some college freshmen and hear what they have to say. Learn how to manage your time. In high school, you know it's time to go to class because the bell rings. You maybe even know it's time to get up because mom or dad or the adult in your house or your brother or your sister, someone says, hey, it's time to get up and get out the door. You know it's time to go to sports practice or extracurricular practice, and you know practice is done because the coach, the teacher, someone tells you it's done. In college, your time is your own. There is no one there to make sure that you get out of bed to get to class, or that you even eat lunch at an appropriate lunchtime. Really, in college, time management is the biggest skill you're going to need to hone. You also need to learn how to study. Taking notes is much different in college than it is in high school. Your instructors aren't going to care if you get the notes written down as much in college as they did in high school. Classes seem to go so much faster in college, so be ready to keep up. In high school, you tend to go to, let's say, math class Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? You go for about 45 to 50 minutes. Or if you have block scheduling, you go for 90 minutes. Okay, that's doable, right? In college, that's not how it works. There's about 3 ways college classes work. They're either a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class for about an hour, or they're a Tuesday, Thursday class for about an hour and a half, or sometimes you can take a night or an evening class, and that's going to be about 3 hours. So it's a little different than high school where you went to class in the same subject every day. So you're going to have to be ready to keep up. And you need to get help at the first sign of trouble. Don't be like this person where they're already drowning and now they're asking for help. In college, your professors are more than willing to help you, but you have to reach out to them. They're not going to see the confused look on your face and be like, Jennifer, what's wrong? I'm going to have to go to them to ask for help. And there's help. They'll have posted office hours. They might have a teaching assistant that's willing to help. There's going to be study groups and recitation groups. So just be on the lookout for all of those ways that you can get help in college. Like I said, don't be like this person. Some other helpful hints. Let's talk about the T-zone. And I'm not referring to that area on your face where you might be more acne prone. What I'm referring to is the T-zone in a classroom setting. The T-zone is basically if you stand in the front of the classroom, it's an upside down T. So the first few rows, like 2 to 3 rows, like 1 through 3, I guess, are what we call the top of the T. Okay? And then straight up the middle would be that part of the T. That is the area where any professor or instructor is probably going to spend the majority of their time looking. I want you to sit back and watch your high school teachers and see if that's kind of what they do. We do it unconsciously. It's not something I set out to do when I teach, but I often find myself looking at those students in the first few rows and straight up the middle. There's also going to be a lot of different kinds of tests in college. And the difference between your high school and college might also include the fact that the test you don't get to retake in college. I know in our local high school, you can retake it until you get the grade you want. Well, that's great, but when I get to college, I don't have that opportunity. Tests have a variety of questions, as you guys are well aware. Some of them are going to be multiple choice, true, false, essay, short answer. You understand that. Some tests in college will actually be done on a computer. And the other important thing to think about is be sure to ask questions because that is the only way you're going to get an answer. If you have a question, chances are someone else in your class might also have that question. So let's talk about some habits. We all know there are good habits and bad habits. Now, some of the habits that you consider good for yourself may in fact be bad and vice versa. So let's just talk about those habits and how they can affect our college learning. Alarm clocks. Okay, I realize many of you probably don't actually own an alarm clock, but you probably have a cell phone with an alarm set on it. It's important to learn how to use these alarm clocks functions properly. Does your alarm go off? You hit it, you silence it, roll over and go back to sleep? Well, that's fine and dandy, but eventually you have to get up and start your day. And in college, there is no one there to make sure you get out of bed. When I was in high school, my dad served as my alarm clock. He would often holler up our stairs and say, hey, it's time to get up. That worked great, but when I got to college, I truly had to get myself out of bed, which meant I had to set my alarm every night to make sure I was up and ready for class. Planners. Now, some of you may prefer a written planner. Many of us just prefer to have notes in our phone, on our tablet, or on our computer. In high school, I was really good at keeping all my assignments up here in my head. When I got to college, I started to find I was starting to forget things or miss assignments. Well, I had to actually write them down. Just a plain old piece of notebook paper worked for me. I was able to say, world history class, read these chapters, study for the test. That's all I needed was simple reminders. But think about how you are going to best remember and make sure all of your assignments got done. The cool thing is now, for most colleges and universities, they have some form of online platform that they are using. And in that online platform, there's often going to be reminders posted about when assignments are due. Okay, we often talk about the syllabus. Now you might be going, what the heck is a syllabus? The syllabus actually serves as the outline for the basic elements of the course, including topics that are covered, the weekly class schedule, the list of tests and maybe when they're going to happen, the assignments, and their associated weight. Because as we know, not all assignments are worth the same amount of points. In many ways, the course syllabus functions as the text for that course. So it's important to know what is on that course syllabus. Some course syllabuses will say that the testing for this class will be done on an alternate evening. For example, when I took my accounting class at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, we didn't have our accounting test in class during class time. We had it on a given evening. We all had to go to the library and they gave the exam to everyone in Accounting 1. There was hundreds of students taking the Accounting 1 test at the same time in the same room. And we weren't all in the same class. So a typical day in college, what could that look like? Honestly, it's going to depend how you structure your class schedule. Classes, like I said earlier, typically meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday and Thursday. Classes, at least in the university system, started on the hour on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and started on the half hour on Tuesday and Thursday. So some classes will start at 8 a.m., some classes will start at noon, some classes will start at 3 p.m. or 1:30 or 10:30. It really just depends. So a typical day is going to vary, although your class schedule will probably be similar on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday and Thursday. Everyone gets 168 hours a week. You might be wondering, what are you even talking about? Well, if each day has 24 hours in it, and there are 7 days in a week, you multiply those two numbers and you get 168 hours. Time is the ultimate leveling playing field. You don't get more time than I do. We all get the same 160 hours. The real trick is figuring out how to best utilize it so that you make the most of your time. We all know that friend that always seems to have their assignments done ahead of time and have all this free time. Or the other friend that's constantly running around like a chicken with their head chopped off, trying to get their assignments done because they haven't utilized their time properly. Decisions, decisions, decisions. What do I want to be when I grow up? For some of you, this is a really hard question. You still don't have a clue as to what it is you want to be. But some things to think about as you begin to decide what career path you want to follow include going to your school's website and brochures and seeing what career options are available, what past graduates of those schools or programs are doing. I also want you to think of it this way. Often I hear students say, well, I want to be a doctor because they make a lot of money. That's what people say, right? Well, think about some things. For example, we're going to use my doctor analogy for the time being. So think about yourself. Do you prefer to be indoors or outdoors? I'd rather be outside. Well, do a lot of doctors work outside? Not in the United States, they don't. Am I a night owl or an early bird? Either way, this one will work well for me because doctors have late nights and early mornings. But I really encourage all of you to think about yourself and really be honest with yourself. Are you truly a night owl? Or are you truly an early bird? On the weekend, if I gave you the choice to get up early and get things done, or to stay up late, sleep late, and then get your work done, what is your preference? And if you're not sure, ask those that know you best. Do you have your best ideas first thing in the morning and are most productive early in the day, or are you most productive later in the day? In my office, I'm an early bird, right? So I like to work on my really hard projects first thing in the morning. But my coworker is more of a night owl. She would prefer to work on those hard projects late in the day. So we've decided in our office, if we're going to have a productive work day and we need to work on a project together, we need to get it done kind of between 10 and 2, because I'm most productive in the morning and she's most productive in the afternoon. So that's kind of the window we've created for ourselves when it comes to thinking about our personal habits. Next up, do you want a flexible schedule or do you want to know what to expect? Most doctors have to be pretty flexible because they're on call, right? They never know when they're going to get called into the hospital or to their clinic to check on a patient. Or do you want to know what to expect? Do you want to know that on Thursdays at 10 a.m., this is going to happen? Then that you're going to have a lunch hour from 11:30 to 12:30 and that you're going to get off at 5? What do you want? Do you like that flexibility, or do you like knowing what to expect? Or do you like a blend of those two? I really do like kind of knowing what to expect, but I also love the flexibility that my job gives me. During this time of year, I often get phone calls from my husband saying, "Hey, can you come pick me up in this field?" Well, some days that works really well because I have a flexible schedule and I can go help them. Other days, I'm structured and that can't happen. But that's the part of my job I really appreciate. Do you want to be the boss, or do you want someone to tell you what to do? Do you enjoy just following orders and doing what you're told, or do you want to be the one to take the reins and tell others what to do? Do you want to own your own business or let someone else take the risk? Are you risk averse, or are you a risk taker? Think about how that works. I'm not huge on risk. I'm not going to be the first one to adopt anything. When it comes to new technology, yes, I'll use it, but I'm not going to be the first person in line at the Apple store when they release the new iPhone because I'm a little bit risk averse. Now, I'm not so far behind that I still want a flip phone. I'm somewhere in the middle. So think about where you are. The bottom line is it's your future and it's going to be what you make it. You truly need to think about what will make you happiest in the long run. Don't choose a career because someone else told you you needed to be X, Y, or Z. Sure, parents and other adults in our lives have dreams for what our future might look like and what career they would hope that we would pursue. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't make you happy, you're not going to enjoy it. And then you're going to wish you had done something different. So truly, this is your future. Make it what you want it to be. Make decisions that are best for you in the long run. But the adults in your life are here to help. They will offer you advice. Maybe sometimes it's advice you don't want to hear, but they're also willing to help you by potentially answering your questions or helping you find the information you need so that you can answer them. You just have to ask for that help. Again, it's your future. Design it how you want it to be. Thank you for your attention today. And if you have any additional questions, here's my email and my phone number, and feel free to contact me. Have a great rest of your day.